In this video, I'm going to be renovating my basement, turning it into my dream basement with a movie theater and a gym. But to me, it's much, much more than that. And here's why. All my life, I've always wanted the perfect hangout spot for me and my friends. No matter the weather conditions or what's going on, I wanted a spot where me and my friends can have our own space. Talk about the meaning of life. Have video game tournaments where we all get way too competitive. I never had that at my house. I would always be going over to my friends' houses, and that was okay. But what I really wanted was to have one of my own, one to beat the rest of them. I needed a spot where I wouldn't need to worry too much about making a ruckus. Because one consistent thing among my friends is that sometimes we could be a bit rowdy. There was only one real option, and that would be the basement. It's the bottom floor of my house, which happens to be the furthest from where people would be sleeping, and a room that I felt was underutilized. Or at least I felt that way. But I knew it wouldn't be an easy task to convince my parents, that's for sure. After a lot of convincing, mostly begging, if we were going to be honest, I got the go-ahead from my mom and dad. Once the go-ahead was given, I started coming up with a plan for the basement. There were many things to think of and many things I wanted to do. I decided that the best thing for the room was to combine my biggest interests, that being one, the gym. Yes. Another being gaming, and the last being melting into a couch watching a good movie or TV show. So I decided to split the room, have one half of it be a gym and use all the workout equipment that is down there, and the other half be turned into a movie theater. However, I am a broke college student and didn't have the money to buy anything I wanted brand new that would be necessary to build out the dream basement I always wanted, until I was inspired by my good friend Mustafa. He showed me that it was possible to find a lot of things out there without emptying my checking account, especially when it comes to entertainment centers and home theaters.
And from the recycling of my building, here, subwoofer right here from Facebook Marketplace. Owner didn't know what it was for. Sub also from my recycling for free. The regular surround Sony speakers. I got front left, front right, and then center down here. Got that in a set for $25 off of Facebook Marketplace.
Inspiration. For much, much more reasonable prices than what it would cost buying everything brand new from the power of Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji. Mustafa is the perfect example of making it work with the cards you're dealt. I'm first off super proud of him and incredibly grateful for him to be my friend and inspiring me. So, with a new mindset and the ambition to have the coolest basement possible, we were off to the races. First off was finding a way to block the noise from traveling upstairs from my basement. The first and most obvious solution that I could think of was finding doors. That would add a way to block out the noise as well as light to have the optimal viewing experience. After a couple days of looking, I came across this ad on Kijiji of this guy selling these solid wood doors, which would be great for blocking noise, for $25 each. They seemed to be in good condition, and I jumped on it right away to go get them with the help of my dad.
Do you want me to put my hard helmet on?
After we got the door secured, there was another problem at hand. That was the sheer amount of mess that was down in the basement that could throw the whole plan into jeopardy. I desperately needed to find a way to get a lot of the clutter and junk out of the basement. Thankfully, my grandparents came in clutch and allowed me to borrow a trailer off them. This allowed me to easily get things out. I did, however, leave it out in the snow, which eventually turned into ice overnight. So that was a bit of a process, getting things out. Next was the part I was looking forward to the least, but something that had to be done. That was cleaning up the basement. Then I was paid a visit from this goofball. That's my good friend now. Not paid, but we decided to paint over the very odd looking eyesore wallpaper that was up around the cabinet in the room.
Give us your opinion. For my second try, it went pretty well.
After that, we decided to go to Home Depot to make the doors fit correctly to the door frame.
Dad, where are we?
We're at Home Depot. We're about to rob the place.
We found that we needed to trim down the bottom of the door and extend the width of the door as well. So we needed to buy some wood to add to the door and bought some handles for them as well. Next was setting up the doors and railings, which was a lot more complicated to set up than you would think. This process was mainly spearheaded by my dad, working hard,
That popsicle's not gonna eat itself.
because me left to my own devices would have no idea what to do. So he's going to be taking over the voiceover.
Hi everyone. There were a couple things that we needed to make the doors fit correctly. One, we needed to extend the width of the door. Two, we needed to cut down the length of the door. Three, we needed to paint the door. 4, we needed to install the railing for the door correctly, which took a lot of adjusting. 5, finally we need to fill in the gaps on the door where the doorknobs used to be. It was a lot of work, but far cheaper than buying everything new. Anyways, I think that wraps up my monologue for now.
Now, for the home theater side of things. This is where things get wild. What I didn't tell you guys earlier was while I started making this video and working on this project, I was contacted by Vivid Storm, a company that makes excellent projector screens, and they offered to send me out one. It would rise from the floor, looks incredibly nice, and would save me a lot of money. So, of course I agreed. If you're building your own home theater, if you're looking for a good quality, floor rising projector, this is the product for you. 10 out of 10, thank you Vivid Storm.
Wow.
So, I had the projector screen, but since I needed to get everything else to make an amazing home theater while still leaving space to also have the gym as well, there were a number of things I wanted to get. One was a PS5 for gaming and movies, another was a 4K projector, a nice surround sound system, and finally, a really nice couch that I could melt into while watching movies. All of those things usually would be very expensive, so I turned to the expert of budgeting, Mustafa. He told me,
well, you might as well look at Facebook Marketplace and see what you can do.
and so I did. First target to be acquired was a PS5. I sent out messages to every person out there that was willing to sell their PS5 for under $400 Canadian. A steal, to say the least. I was able to find someone real and willing to sell the PS5 for $400. All that was left was driving to Toronto to pick it up. First, I picked up Mustafa to come with me for moral support.
Just got here. Hopefully we will be back with a PS5.
Mustafa, thoughts?
We have our heads on it. I was a little skeptical on this one, but it worked out overall.
After that, I was off to the races. I was hunting for deals. The next target in my sights was the projector. After days of searching, I was able to find a listing for a BenQ TK800 that was listed for $800. Already a steal, might I add. However, with my expert negotiation skills, I was able to bring the price down to $650. Then promptly had a journey down to St. Catharines, Ontario. Another hell of a drive, but was able to secure the projector with no real issues.
So 40-minute drive later, here we are.
Now onto the surround sound system. I was able to get a Polk Audio 5.1 home theater speaker system with a Pioneer 7.2 channel AV receiver for $200, which needless to say, I was very happy with. Now, last but not least, some would say the most important purchase of them all, I would, the couch. There are a couple requirements. 1, you have to have the area to put your feet up. And 2, it has to have that meltability to it. Don't pretend like you don't know what I mean. That's pretty much it. After a lot of searching, I came across this L-shaped IKEA couch that turns into a bed and has plenty of room to put your feet up. That was being sold for $150. Needless to say, I was sold. So, with the help of my brother Taylor and my papa graciously lending me his van, we were off to Toronto with a goal of searching for a couch.
Fit. Thoughts? You owe me.
Next was one of the coolest things I've ever done. Well, saying I did it is generous, but anyways, next was building a custom cabinet for everything to be housed. 100-inch projector screen, a PS5, an amp, speakers, and some classic consoles. This is far, far out of my expertise, and I really needed help. Thankfully, I had the dream team to back me up. My Uncle Tom, ex-woodshop teacher, full-time handyman, and might I add, amazing uncle, generously helped me to build such a cabinet, along with my dad, who everyone loves. They drew up a plan, bought all the wood to fill out said plan, and got right to work. Well, they were able to get it done in just one day. Actually 3 hours, which is crazy, and it turned out perfectly.
Wow. That's pretty close to the ceiling. Perfect!
Once everything was secured, it was time to assemble it all, starting with mounting the projector to the ceiling, with some help from my friend Julian. Next, I was routing the cables along the ceiling with the help of my friend Declan. Next up, setting up the speakers, which in all honesty, I was most excited for. Mustafa came to help me with this one. We hooked up the front center, front left, front right, and subwoofer to the amp, and tried it out for the first time. It was pretty wild.
Oh my god. Is the projector shaking? I don't think so.
The bass was so loud, it would literally start shaking the projector screen. Needless to say, I was very impressed. Next, me and Mustafa got to setting up the couch.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain.
Mustafa can fit in this clothes.
Alright, let's go.
No way.
Go for it.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Easily.
Oh my god.
Bro, no one will ever know.
You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You're with my
Next, I decided to set up some lights.
Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby.
Last but not least was hooking up the rear speakers to the ceiling to have the true surround sound. This was one hell of a process, but after trying to fish the speaker wire over from the cable sleeve to the mounts for an hour, we were finally able to make it through, and it turned out so good. Now there was only one thing left, showing the final product to all my friends, and really breaking into space. Thank you to everyone that helped me in this video. You all truly mean the world to me, and I couldn't be more grateful to be surrounded by such amazing people. Now I can be watching movies, playing games, and making memories down here. Thank you all for watching.
Make sure to subscribe and check out Matt's Twitch and Instagram. Okay, goodbye.